Jordan Peele's horror follow-up to Get Out has finally arrived. Us is genuinely scary, but does the story pack a punch or does it peter out? We meet a family who is going on vacation in Santa Cruz to the mom's childhood home, and they encounter a group of doppelgangers who just begin this night of terror. First, let's not compare this to Get Out. I mean, this is its own unique story. It's not a sequel by any means. So to really compare it in that way, or to treat it as like, hey, this is Get Out Part 2, it's totally unfair. The acting in this is phenomenal. Lupita Nyong'o plays Adelaide, who is the mom, and Red, who is the doppelganger. She is awesome at both, because what she does is she plays them so differently that they are their own standalone person with all of the unique traits and just nuances to that. But she plays them as the same character as well, so that you can truly be a doppelganger, and you see that they also share slight mannerisms here and there. And oh my gosh, what she does with her voice as the doppelganger is just downright creepy and weird. I mean, you have to strain to listen to it a little bit, because it's kind of like this inhalation talking, and it rises and falls and just is scratchy, and then is barely audible, and then is fierce and powerful. And wow, I mean, standout performance in this. She is spectacular. Winston Duke is Gabe, the dad, and he is awesome too, because what he does is bring some comedic relief to the story. But that's not to say that he's like some doofus or he's a moron or a fool, because he's not. I mean, he is strong, he is smart, and I just love, though, that he is full-on dad joke. I mean, when he's full of them. He just brings them and he commits to them, and you see the kids roll their eyes, and even the wife rolls her eyes, and me as a dad, I'm like, yeah, that was awesome. I totally get that. The kids in this are great too. I mean, they are smart, they are aware, and they're doppelgangers. Whoa, those things just need to go. I mean, it is insane. Zora, the girl, her double, has this smile to it that is just terrifying, really. I mean, there is something so not right about it. She just kind of cocks her head a little bit and then has this, and I can't even do it justice by any means. I mean, she was awesome at that. And the boy is just, as he crawls around as the doppelganger, I mean, he's got this mask on, and he's almost like animal-like. And it just, the whole imagery and their mannerisms and their movements are just, not right. Elizabeth Moss and Tim Heidecker are also in this, but honestly, they're barely in it. I mean, they are such small, minor roles. They're fine at what they do, but they're pretty insignificant, really. Peele has really created an atmosphere of creep in Us. I mean, he is patient with his shots without belaboring anything. I mean, he knows when to sit on something and when to pull off and when to move it, and some of the tracking and just the slowness and the patience to do certain things, and then some quick movements when it's called for that also. So just the differences in all of his shot choices, and even the way that he frames different areas of the film, just really draw you in, and they like hyper focus you. And then you have this soundtrack and this score, really it's more of the score, that is off-putting, and it messes with your mind, and it sets up this tone of just creepiness, and not full-on terror, but you know that something is coming, and you don't know what it is, but you're pretty sure you're not gonna like it. The story in Us is really layered and complex. I mean, yes, on its surface, it is a horror psychological thriller movie, and it is digestible and it is accessible by everybody. But I know that Peele did not just make a straight-on horror film. Just like in Get Out, I mean, he had a horror and a psychological thriller in that, but he was also making a point. In Us, he's also making a point, and I'm not going to get into that right now in this video, but it's definitely, see it multiple times. I mean, I'm going to see it in just a couple days again, because I want to catch things that I missed. The film opens in 1986 in Santa Cruz, and the thing that kept running through my mind is, well, really two things. First off, Santa Cruz in the mid-'80s was not a place to be. And then I kept expecting to see Kiefer Sutherland and Corey Haim on the boardwalk someplace. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about and you don't get that, then just go look it up, and then it'll make a little bit of sense. It's not very funny, but it'll at least make sense. I had a blast with Us. I mean, Jordan Peele has solidified his horror director rights in my mind. This is a spectacular film, and you know, once is a fluke. Doing it twice, that shows some real talent and skill. If you like psychological horrors or thrillers, then you're definitely going to want to check this out. There is no sex or nudity, but there is a lot of profanity and a lot of violence. I give Us 5 out of 5 couches. What's the scariest movie you've seen recently? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.